today is session number 8 time, and the topic that we will be covering today is transforming railways and metro network, coaches, wagons and railway station redevelopment.
We are going through the most promising time in the railway technology in the world. Not only in India, globally, because of environmental concerns. Just for your information, railway is 1/7 in carbon emission compared to roadways and 1/15 as compared to airways. In fact, countries like France, they do not permit flights between two cities if the distance can be covered by railway in 4 hours time. So that is the importance which globally railway as a means of transportation is receiving. We have panelists in this today's conference who are the experts. They are the ultimate in their field, railway technology. Mr. Dhingra was head of Bombardier for a long time and knows the nitty-gritty of the railway technology, railway rolling stock. Mr. Mishra is heading Western Railway as general manager. He is the CEO of the railway, and he has also worked in different geographies across India, and he knows Indian railways and railways in and out. Mr. Agrawal is currently, he is also a die-hard railwayman and currently chief maintenance officer in Deutsche Bahn. You may be aware that the first regional railway system of India is taking off from Delhi to Meerut, and the contract for constructing this high-speed regional rail corridor was awarded to Mrs. Deutsche Bahn, and Mr. Agrawal heads that maintenance wing of this venture. I'll start my some few queries with start discussion with Mr. Dhingra. There are two issues. One, because we are in a standstill conference. So far, in last few years, the rail industry, particularly rolling stock industry in the country, is dominated by stainless steel. Now, from some quarters, some attempts are being made to bring aluminium also in the rolling stock technology. Since Mr. Dhingra is globally associated with many multinationals, I would like his take on the subject and what is happening globally around us.
Aluminium as well as steel, both are currently being used for the rolling stock all over the world. Now, the choice of selection of aluminium or stainless steel basically depends on 3-4 major parameters. First is the speed. At a lower speed, up to 80 kilometers per hour, that is what we have seen in the metros, normally people go with the stainless steel. The higher the speed, when you go to a speed of 160 or 200 kilometers per hour, and when you would like to have a higher acceleration, that is the time you would like to have a lower weight of the body. And by lower weight of the body means that you have to change it from stainless steel to aluminium. So what we have seen is that at 160 kmph or 200 kmph or 250 kmph, depending on the axle load, higher the axle load which is allowed, you can go with the stainless steel. The lower the axle load, which is like for metros, in case you want to go to lighter metro for 12-ton axle load, you go with the aluminium. Similarly, for the high-speed trains, where you would like to have the weight of the body to come down and acceleration to be faster, you go with aluminium. So what we have seen is that from change from stainless steel to aluminium, the car body has a weight of approximately 20%. And if you change from stainless steel to aluminium, you save basically 20% of weight. That means overall 5 to 6% of the weight of the vehicles come down. And this 5 to 6% helps in saving of the energy to 5 to 7%. So that is why for the higher speed, this preference is given to the aluminium. But then if I go by the country-wise, what I have seen is that China, which has more gone go towards the higher speed, they have all shifted to aluminium. Almost 80 to 90% of the current rolling stock being made in China is aluminium, and balance 10 to 50% remain the steel, and that too in the metros only. Similarly, if I go to Japan, primarily they have gone with the stainless steel, but again with the high speed they have shifted to aluminium. So I would say it's 70-30, 70% aluminium, 30% stainless steel. US predominantly is stainless steel. Almost 80 to 90% is stainless steel. Europe also, I would say 60 to 70% is aluminium and 30 to 40% is aluminium. But if I go the manufacturer-wise, one of the different perspectives that comes here, some of the manufacture based on the technology advantage has gone only with aluminium, like CAF in Spain, Talgo in Spain, Stadler in Switzerland. They have all gone with aluminium technology. Whereas like of Siemens and Bombardier or Alstom, they have gone with the stainless steel. As far as India is concerned, majority of the rolling stock being procured in India, whether for railways or for metros, is stainless steel, except for two metros, which is your airport line, Delhi airport line, as well as Pune metro, which is the aluminum coaches. Otherwise, majority of is on the stainless steel. Indian Railways has been thinking of shifting to aluminium in a small way, but there are issues involved because the aluminium extrusion of that much length is not available. So that is why they have not gone ahead. Recently, they have announced that for 200 kmph train, they would like to go with aluminium, whether it's a push-pull type or a distributed pipe, they would like to go with aluminium. So as far as India is concerned today, I would say 95% is steel and 5% is aluminium. And I think this trend will continue over the next 6-7 years till the time aluminium is available in the Indian market. I am hearing that now Hindalco is creating a setup for aluminium in India, but it will take some time to reach to a level that people can shift to the aluminium in India. But still, I would say, though I am there in the stainless steel seminar, the stainless steel will continue to be there as a rolling stock car body material for the time to come in India. So this is my initial take on stainless steel versus aluminium.
Thank you, Mr. Dhingra, for, I think he has given a global picture of the relative role which stainless steel and aluminium are playing. Now coming to Mr. Mishra, in last 2 years or 2-3 years, there have been failures of footover bridges and the bridges on the railway system, which were made of normal steel. And thereafter, a decision was taken that at some places we will go for stainless steel footover bridges. So I would like to understand from you, what has been your experience with the stainless steel, use of stainless steel in footover bridges, other bridges, and other railway fixed structure, other than rolling stock? And we would also like to know, since we are fortunate to have you amongst us here, the status of the electric loco factory which Siemens are setting up at Dahod, and the impact of a Western dedicated freight corridor on Indian Railways freight loading. So these are the three distinct questions which I am putting up to you. Thank you.
Good morning. In India, the first stainless steel FOB, the footover bridge, as we know, is already existing. We have made it on Western Railway in our suburban section. We are monitoring it, and other railways have also been asked to at least try one prototype. And based on this, we will switch over, because the initial feedback is very good. It is still under observation. Another year or so, and next year we'll take a call that other bridges will make like this. On the bridges sector, another major change, you must have heard about Amrit Bharat stations. All over India, 1,000 plus, nearly 1,200 stations have been identified which will undergo a makeover. On our own Western Railway, which covers Maharashtra, part of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, we are having 100 such stations. And where stainless steel comes in this station is, we are going a makeover on the stations, some facade improvement, so there stainless steel is being used. Secondly, most of these stations are having 12-meter wide. 12 meter is very wide FOB. As of now, the smaller stations were having 3 meters, then 6 meter was wide. 12 meter is a very wide FOB. And I got some calculations done. It will be normal, such station will require 200 metric ton of steel. So this is being planned for all these stations, majority of this. So this is one potential area. And rolling stock has already been covered, because now the all new wagons and all new coaches which are being made, they are using a type of stainless steel, whether ferritic or austenitic. And on our own system, with the connectivity which we are increasing to all the ports in Gujarat, in Dholera. Those of you who have some idea of Dholera, a very big semiconductor complex, and a new airport is coming. So Western Railway has planned a semi-high speed train from Ahmedabad to Dholera, around at semi-high speed. When we say it is 200 kmph potential. So that survey we have already done, and it is in final stages of approval with the at the national level. So that will also require these inputs on the rolling stock. About the loco factory at Dahod, the tender has been awarded to Siemens. The factory has to be built by us. So Western Railway has a target that by December will provide the testing shed and the other facilities. This work was started only in June, but by December we'll provide the initial things. And Siemens is expected to start rolling out the locomotives. 5 locomotives are planned in the next financial year. And by that time, the full factory will come over because our tender is already in place and it is a EPC contract. So the speed is quite fast. And it is over the next 5 years, we will see a number of Siemens locomotives moving on Indian Railways. DFC has changed the movement on our system. The speeds are much higher, and the impact is being felt on Western Railway on our system, that the Western DFC. There are 2 DFCs. One is Western DFC, the other is Eastern DFC, which connects from the eastern side to Dadri. On our system, till now, Sanand near Viramgaon, that is near Ahmedabad, to Rewari has been commissioned, and most of those trains we have diverted there. Otherwise, traditional route on the Western Railway was we are getting all the trains to Baroda or Anand and taking them via Godhra, Ratlam, Kota, and then handing over to the northern sector. Now we are taking them via Palanpur, Samakhali, and the other route is, which is our route, which is a double line track done recently, and the DFC track from Sanand to Palanpur and to Rewari. So this is our passenger train operation. So you must have seen number of passenger trains are being introduced on Western Railway. We have increased the frequency and speeds have increased. Plus from the ports, double stack container operation has been possible on DFC routes. Western Railway has also made some of our routes like Ahmedabad to Gandhidham fit for double stack container. Palanpur to Samakhali near Gandhidham again fit for double stack container. So more and more container trains are moving on double stack, which the same train of 45 carries nearly double the load that he use. So in this way, faster movement and better connectivity is changing the economy of this area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mishra. We are now better aware about the prospects of this loco factory, the other stainless steel development in the railways, and the impact of DFCC. Now, Mr. Agrawal is there. Mr. Agrawal is part of a new experiment, I would say, on Indian railway scene. Not Indian railway, but the railway scene in India. He is heading maintenance wing of the first regional rail transport system of the country. And many of us are not aware, we are not able to distinguish between the metro system and the regional road systems, and how I would like Mr. Agrawal to enlighten us that, first of all, what are the special features of the rolling stock? Is it stainless steel or aluminum or what? What's the new in the rolling stock which is being used in this DB, and what are the future plans of the regional road systems in the country, and his take on the overall rail industry in the country in general as things stand today?
I will just, one correction I want to make to what Mr. Trivedi said in the opening remark. As a douche-ban company, I was working, I am actually batchmate of Mr. Trivedi in railways, so I also joined mechanical department in 83 and retired in 2019 from the post of additional member. After that, I got this opportunity to get associated with the douche-ban. And douche-ban is not the constructor of that RRTS, we are only the operator. The NCRTC is the main organization who is constructing this infrastructure. And they have done this experiment probably first time in the India, that operation and maintenance of the complete system has been outsourced to the operator. This concept is there all over the globally. Most of the countries are having this concept, and our company Ban is already working as an operator in many projects across the world. So this first I would just like to tell you about the what RRTS is. It's a very unique project of Government of India. It's almost costing 30,000 crore of rupees, and its progress is also very fast. I think it is one of the top 5 project which is always discussed in the Gati Shakti meetings in India, which is on track. So this 84 kilometer of track for RRTS right from Delhi, Sarai Kale Khan station near Nizamuddin in Delhi, up to the Modipuram outer end of the Meerut will be completed by February 2025. And in fact, it was supposed to be opened, first stage was supposed to be opened in the month of July, but due to the probably some schedule or time not being available with the higher authorities, the inauguration has not yet happened. But I am very happy to inform all of you that 17-kilometer section right from Saibabad up to Duhai depot carrying 5 stations have already been inspected by the CMRS, and CMRS sanction is available to us. So in this project, the unique feature of this project is that it is going to complete the journey of 85 kilometers from Modipuram to the Sarai Kale Khan in 55 minutes. There are total 25 stations. The 7 stations are local stations for Meerut city. So on about 17 to 18 stations, the train will be stopping, and it will complete the journey in 55 minutes. So there are some mind-boggling figure of saving in the fuel and the number of vehicles and the buses which are going to go out of road because of this service. At present, this service is planned to run for every 15 minutes headway. Total 138 service will be run from morning 6 o'clock up to 11 o'clock in the night. And this particular train, which has been given by his old organization Bombardier, is going to run at 180 kmph, 160 kmph normal running speed. But I was there in the train when we did the testing at 180 kmph. It's a very first of its kind in the country. Actually, I call it high-speed metro. And basically it is a rapid transport, and this project has created so much buzz all over the state that many states is wanting to connect 2 cities. Like Karnataka is interested to create Bangalore to Mysore, things like that between the 2 cities. There are 6 or 7 more leg from Delhi to Alwar, Delhi to Jaipur, and in towards Haryana, Chandigarh. All these projects are also in the pipeline. I think Planning Commission is working on that. And there are so many firsts in this project, which after joining there only I realized that this is really state-of-art technology which NCRTC management has brought in. First time in the country, we are going to have the ETCS level 2 signaling with the LTE backbone. It's not available anywhere in Asia, not even in China, anywhere. And first time we are bringing. Alstom is actually our signaling partner. They are doing all the constructions. And Alstom has roped in Nokia for the LTE technology backbone support. So this is again a very advanced type of communication system which is being provided. And signaling system is also going to be now all European countries moving towards ETCS level 2. Even there are very few lines in the world, part of the section they are having. Then if you anytime happen to come there and see the track which has been laid, The track, first they have created a complete elevated bed. There are some tunnel sections also. On that, instead of laying normal sleeper, there's a technology called pore slab. So from 2 meter to 4 meter long slab has been casted using some maybe 5 sleeper to 10 sleeper are embedded into that casting. There's a separate casting yard created by L&T, and they have led the track. It's a beautiful ballastless track. And the even train runs at 150 to 160 km pace normal. Every day we are running nowadays 130 trains. Trials are going on. We call it a empty trial run. So continuously for last 2 months we are doing these trials. So this is, the train is so smooth, no, on the track at 155 kmph you cannot find, but it's really a wonderful experience, I would say. And we reached right from Duhi station to Saibabad in 12 minutes time. So now coming to your question of rolling stock, the rolling stock is almost similar to the metro, but there is some differences will definitely be there because it is fit for 180 kmph. The bogie is different, but the TCMS systems and other systems are all same. There are a lot of energy conservation feature, like there is a system where the passenger, the door will not automatically open. The only passenger can open a specific door and can get out. Suppose there is nobody there in the train inside, so why to open all the doors? So that way, those minute detail saving of energy has been worked out. One important other feature which I forgot to tell you is that all these stations are going to have the PSD, passenger platform screen doors. So every station is having a safety platform screen door, and platform screen door are having interlinking with the departure signal. So that which is not there anywhere in the country at present. So that is also kind of first which NCRTC have. Now we have a maintenance vehicle which will be using for maintaining the track and the OHE system. Those maintenance vehicle in all metros are fit for only 25 to 40 kmph. Our NCRTC is procuring a maintenance vehicle which will be fit for moving 110 kmph, and they will also have a ETCS system available, cab signaling available on the maintenance vehicle also. So like that, there are so many improvements have been done. Now this Alstom rolling stock is fully made of stainless steel, body, underframe, everything. And all their equipments are definitely of higher ratings as compared to metro. The acceleration criteria is also bigger. It's a 75% powering, and 0.9 meter per square is the acceleration, and 0.8 meter per second square is the deceleration. So, and it is provided with the yaw dampers and things like that. Another important thing which they have introduced here, Trivedi ji, is a driver batch reader, which is not there in any metro. So driver has been given a badge. Once you fit into the driver cab, then only the train will move. So this is a new feature they have introduced there. And as far as our company is concerned, we have done lot of initial works. We came on board on 1st July 2022. After that, we had to build up a team for recruiting the people, giving them training, giving the competency certificate. All train driver, everybody we have recruited locally from the local engineering colleges, graduates. There was some condition that we have to give employment to the local people. So right now we have a strong team of approximately 400 people, including the train driver, station controller, different signaling maintainer, track maintainer. All of them have been recruited locally. Some experienced people also we have taken. So right now we are fully prepared to take the maintenance and operation of these trains. In this project, there another one more angle is there. This rolling stock maintenance is not in our scope. The NCRTC has given a contract that the supplier, that is Bombardier, only will have to maintain it for the next 15 years. So this is all from that project.
Thank you, Mr. Agrawal. Mr. Dhingra, coming to you, one of the question which has been, which Indian Railways are engaging, that we are finding difficult to make the entry of private players smooth in the sector. While we see that the roadways, through the tolling system of the roads and many beautiful innovative ways of financing roadways have been developed, but in the railways still the government continues to remain the main investor. So how we can go about it so that railways also expand at the same rate at which highways are expanding? That is number one. And number two, recently we heard the news that Hindalco is trying to make extrusions and other things for the manufacture of railway coaches. And they made some aluminum wagons also. So will it be financially viable for a private player to go for aluminum rolling stock and make his system financially viable?
So, Mr. Lalit, you have raised two questions. Let me first answer the second question. You rightly said that anybody who is investing in making the aluminum extrusions have to invest somewhere 1,000 crore rupees. Now, whether this 1,000 crore invested gets break-even over a period of time depends on the number of coaches manufactured in India, or if they have a strategy to export the extrusions outside India. Now, as far as the Indian market is concerned, as I said in the initial statement, was that currently almost 95% of the coaches are stainless steel in India. Though the requirements of metros clearly says that we can use stainless steel or aluminium, but majority of the players are continuing to use stainless steel because import of aluminium extrusions is difficult to get because from China the prices are going to be high because of the current political scenario. In case you want to get aluminum extrusions from Europe, it is very costly. So aluminum car body and the aluminum metro coaches, what we have seen based on my experience, is almost 8 to 10% higher than the stainless steel coaches. So the viability of making the aluminum trays right from scratch, making the car body with flat packs and all depends on easy availability of aluminum material in India. Unfortunately, as of now, it is no. But Hindalco has taken a risk. They have gone ahead because last year Government of India was thinking of buying almost like 400 trains of stainless steel aluminum. 200 trains are coming still with stainless steel. Further 200 trains are coming with going to come with aluminum. When I say 200 trains, means about 3,200 coaches. This 3,200 coaches plus in case people start making the aluminum metro cars, if we have a volume of 5,000, I think it will become break-even for the aluminum manufacturer, the extrusion manufacturer. My study says that break-even comes at about 8,000 coaches. So with 5,000, at least you are nearing that number. So again, I repeat the statement, stainless steel will continue to be there, but aluminum will have a future in India. Coming to the first question which you asked about the private investment in railways. See, private investment in roads have evolved over a period of time. It has taken almost 15, 20 years to come to a concession agreement where private investors are able to invest and able to see the returns from the money which they have invested. Unfortunately, IR, all the equity that comes in IR comes with the funding from central government or their own income. Though the operating ratios are really bad, but still the government of India is funding it and they are not expecting anything in return. So when the ministry says that we are going to invest 2,60,000 crore this year in railways, they are not going to pay anything back to government of India, not even dividend. Whereas when you invest, when we want the private investor to come forward, their expectations of equity return is somewhere around 14 to 16% depending on the risk involved. Now, when you have this kind of investment, so they would like to have the revenue generated from the private operation, which is able to feed this 40 to 60% requirement of return on equity. So, Indian Railways experiment of introducing the private train operations failed because they came with a condition that you do not have the condition of running the trains and not competing with railways. Because railways said, you will run the trains, like private airlines, you will run the trains, but we have a chance to run our train in case the trains becomes popular. So whatever investment the private investor is going to make, you will not be able to get the returns because there is a competition from railways, which is a huge organization. And the kind of returns people were expecting, you are not going to get any returns over a period of 35 years' time. So I personally believe that these things will evolve over a period of time when the private investor will come forward and start investing. Second point which related to is that you see the case of metros also. Wherever private investors have come, whether it is a Mumbai Metro, Hyderabad Metro, Delhi Airport Line or Delhi this Gurgaon Rapid Line, majority of the contracts have failed to generate revenue for the concessionaire. Why? Because there is a traffic risk involved. Revenue risk linked with traffic. Almost 70% or 80% of the revenue that you get generated from the for the revenue is coming only from the traffic, which is the commuters. And in case you are not able to increase the prices, and in case you are not able to get the people on the trains, you will not be able to generate the revenue. So there has to be some kind of a combination of government and private sector to work together to have the risk mitigation plan. If those kind of risk mitigation plan is not there, then private investor will not come into picture. In the case of road, as I said, it has evolved over a period of time where the concessionary agreement has been made in such a way that majority of the people who have invested money in the road structure are able to get the returns expected based on the initial thought. I just would like to add one more thing which is relevant here is, as I was saying, when Government of India put money in railways or metro, they don't expect any returns. Similarly, when financial institutions come forward and invest in metros, like, bilateral funding or multilateral funding like JICA, KFW, ADB, EIB, so many organizations involved, they give you the money with a sovereign guarantee at an expected rate of return about 2% or 1%. In case of JICA, for high speed, it is only 0.1%. But there is a foreign exchange risk which is coming along with it, because if you're repaying the loan over a period of 15 years or 35 years or 50 years, you're also taking the risk on your head. And when you're taking the financial risk on your head, our study shows, based on DMRC experience, this loan is coming out to be at almost 9 to 9.5%. So is it viable today to get the funding from multinational funding, or is it viable to get the things generated from the public from India? So best example is IRFC. IRFC is able to get the funding at 6 to 7%, tax-free bonds, maybe tax-free bonds. Similarly, NHAI is able to rate almost 6,000 crore, 8%. So public has the money. If government, instead of investing this 250,000 crore from their kitty, take the money from the public by even paying 7 to 8% tax-free or non-tax-free, whatever it is, they will be able to generate the 250,000 very easily. So there can be two ways we can have a private money coming into it. One is that public money which government can take. Second is the private investor, where you have to give the kind of risk mitigation plan to the private investors so they are able to generate the kind of return the investor would like, which I said is about 14 to 15%. So possibility is there. I think there is a stakeholder engagement which is required between various players, that how this money can come into the government sector, especially Indian Railways or metros, where the private players can come into it. So these are my thoughts on that.
I'll add one more dimension to what Mr. Dhingra said. I was interacting with DB's sister company, DB Shankar. So they told me that they want to enter the Indian Railways cargo business. And their primary objective was the environmental concern. Like they have to spend some part of their revenues in environmentally sustainable projects. So apart from the rate of return, as I told you that France has legislated that the trains have to be run between the two cities if the distance can be covered by railways in 4 hours time. So that has added another dimension that, and in fact, I'm very keen that the people who shift from road to railways should be incentivized by giving carbon credits, because they are doing so much for the environment which cannot be measured directly.
You're right, Mr. Trivedi. In fact, you would have heard that 2 days back the minister has gone on record and saying that almost 1 crore people are traveling by metros daily. Now, Delhi Metro has come with a new fundamental change that they are issuing the tickets, the QR code tickets, where based on the amount they are showing the energy saving you are having. So there is an awareness which is coming. I will give you my example. 7 years back, almost 100% of my travel in Delhi used to be by car. Now I am personally using 50% in metros. So you rightly said in Europe, like in France, people have started saying that for a 200 kilometers or 300 kilometers, they had a very extensive rail network. They started saying, okay, up to 300 kilometers we'll travel only by train, not by air, not by even car. So I think this thing is also coming in India. That is why whenever the private investors see, they say economically viable proposition. So it is not the financial returns, they also say the economic rate of returns, which is linked to the carbon credits which can be generated. So I think it's a phenomena which is happening, and we have a mission zero concept of energy which government of India is thinking. So one of the aspects is how to bring the people from car or from bus travel to, or from the air travel to rail travel. So I think this is phenomena which is happening. We are a developing country. It is taking time, but I am pretty sure the things are going to take shape in the coming days.
No, some of the countries, they have made metro travel totally free to attract people to come and board the metro. Recently, it has happened.
I will just add, on the freight side, we also give rail points, but they are not tradable. So we have moved a proposal with, which is finally take cabinet's approval, that our business partners who are moving by rail, they should get it back in tradable form, in money value form. So that will be coming shortly. So movement by rail will be beneficial compared to road.
In fact, just to tell people, you people aware, Mr. Mishra, when he was in East Central Railway Zone as head of the rolling stock wing of railway, so he had installed ATM machines in the station where if you put the old plastic bottle in the machine, you will get some voucher or something you would get. So mobile, some charging points or something. So that way railways are showing their concern. Now my next question to Mr. Mishra is, National Railway Plan, it speaks about increasing railways share in cargo to 45% from present 27%. So what are the strategies are in place, the wagon manufacturer, because stainless steel industry depends to a large extent on the stainless steel. So if the production of the wagon is going to be increased, or what are the strategies in place so that we achieve this 45% of cargo share in the country?
We should understand what is the market. Indian Railways, when we talk about, traditionally, India was a developing country, so we were carrying the bulk. Coal, food grains, minerals, that was what, and petroleum oils. That was what we were carrying, and we were very happy that at one time we were majority market, but the market changed. See, with the change in transmission lines, now more and more power plants will be coming to the pit heads. We had, when we joined railways at the last 80s, when I joined, and that was 88, the maximum power plant was 210 each unit. Now 660 is already existing and 840 is the new thing. So, and all coal, either from eastern coal fields or central India coal fields, are moving to the northern sector for making power. That is the biggest chunk that we have got. And even on date, railway's biggest share is coal. That's why we talk of wagons is required. But around 4 years back, I was posted in Jhansi as a divisional railway manager there. We had a power plant of Bajaj Group in Lalitpur. That power plant was not supplying power to the area around Jhansi. Through power grid, it was transmitting to Dadri. They had 660 into 3, that is 1918 megawatt capacity, and they were supplying to Dadri. And that's how they were viable. Like Mr. Trivedi mentioned about ECR, Patratu is a major coal in Jharkhand is a major coal producing area. Now a very big power plant with Russian collaboration is coming there. So all those wagon movements are going to be restricted. Secondly, food grains. India was short of food grains. We were importing. Then Green Revolution came and food grains from north-south, that corridor moved. Now, most of the states are self-sufficient in food grains. Fuel, we were restricted with four-wheeler wagons. Then we moved to eight-wheeler wagons, but fuel has moved to pipelines. So all these, and also the minerals, that is getting restricted. So all these, our traditional carriers, where we are reduced at 27% now, that is going out of our hand. We don't carry it anymore. Now we will look at the Indian market. The biggest commodity which Indian freight sector moves is not coal. It is balanced other goods. Railways has a terminology known as balanced other goods. So nearly 50% is balanced other goods for the Indian freight market. And for the railways, it is negligible. It is not even 5%. So we have to think on these lines. We had a Chintan Shivar in June recently, the ministry had called. So therein I presented a paper. I said railways has to move out of its traditional thinking and of these low value commodities and bulk. These balanced other goods have to be captured. That is 50%, and we are not even at 5%. So if we capture that, then we can jump. But now, where do we suffer? We have a traditional slab structure. We don't offer concessions. So any businessman who is coming to us has to be profitable. It has to be less than road. Only then he will come to us. So we have proposed 4 or 5 changes in the freight structure and some concessions, which somehow just after the Chintan Shivar, that major accident in Balasore happened. So that was put on a shelf for a couple of months. But now I have again requested MR, these things will move, because that is a drastic change in thinking. And also our maintenance pattern. So with that coming, more and more traffic will come. What we envisage will come to us through containers. So container flats and containers will be the future which we'll be carrying, plus connectivity. Right now, if those of you who have any idea of the western side, western doesn't mean only the Bombay, the Gujarat side, Mundra, the biggest private port, and also Kandla. Kandla is going for a big expansion, and DB World has already got that a new terminal from them. They will be developing it. So number of containers is going to develop. It's already 8-lane highway from there. It is flooded with trucks. Railways has a double line capacity from Gandhidham to Samakhali. That is, Samakhali is the entry to Kutch area. Now we are going for quadrupling. It has already been sanctioned by the Planning Commission and will go, because after that we have 2 routes, 2 lines coming to Ahmedabad and 2 lines going up north towards Palanpur. Ahmedabad will take care of that DFC routes. So these connectivities and our change in thinking of capturing the balance other goods, which somehow all the white goods are moving by road. So we have planned to capture that and the white goods export. That's how we are going to reach the 60%. So that our mindset has to change and there has to be a paradigm shift. So the ministry is in agreement with that. Now the policies have to come. So let's see this year some changes come. Already some small changes have been done, but big changes are required, which will be coming shortly.
When we switched over from ICF coaches, which were steel coaches, to LHB coaches, which were stainless steel, our caudal life of coaches was increased from 25 years to 35 years. But in the case of wagons, when we switched over from normal steel wagons to stainless steel wagons, we did not increase the life of the wagon. And as a result, the cost of the wagon became higher but the revenue yield was the same. So I would request you to send a proposal to board that if you are putting a superior material in manufacturing a wagon, you should increase the caudal life so that the per unit cost of the transport is less.
Right, we'll do that.
And second, Western Railway and DFCC have done a wonderful job by running double stack container trains. Now we are not able to run double stack container trains in the rest of the country because of the catenary height limitations.
And the road over bridges.
So to overcome that problem, we decided that we will go for a dwarf container, which will be shorter in height and wider at the base, so that you can, in the conventional, if you can give a push to that, I do not know where it is, that will help us.
Dwarf containers, we call that, it was started by one of the groups. Most of the railways already have clearance. But since these dwarf containers can't go internationally, and even they had research on a national circuit, it will move, but somehow it has not picked up. So already clearance is there. If it comes, we'll move it, but somehow it has to be made first.
Since you are today in a position, so I would request you to give a push after going into all the logistics and whatever issues are involved.
Right.
Coming to Mr. Agrawal, Mr. Dhingra said that aluminium becomes relevant only at a higher speed. It becomes more relevant when the speeds are more. Why Indian Railways is not able to increase speeds of its trains? With your experience as additional member railway board.
First of all, I would say to Mr. Dhingra that I'm a very big fan of stainless steel over the aluminium. Stainless steel coaches have really proved their worth for last. We started introduce them in 1999 and 2005 indigenization has happened. And in fact, I was just checking yesterday only with one of the railway. Almost now 20 years and the corrosion thing is just gone. It's not there. And even in metros, stainless steel coaches, they don't do painting also outside. That's again a very big point. I don't know whether the aluminium coaches, when they come, they will also have to stood the test of time, whether how they behave in the corrosive environment of the seashore, and how is their external surface going to remain, whether it's going to remain shining or will it need painting and all those things. Those comparisons still are needed. I think we don't have much experience on that. Other than that, of course, you already said that import is a big constraint. Stainless steel, every complete ecosystem is available in India. And if you want to manufacture so many coaches tomorrow, you can just increase the production within no time. Now coming to a question of speed, no? Yeah, what you're saying is very correct. We have also been watching this phenomena on Indian Railway of every time we say that speed will be now increased to 160 kmph to basically last important project which has happened somewhere in 2017-18 is this Bombay Western Railway corridor will be completely made fit for 160 kmph. In fact, if you all may be knowing, since you are people from the industry, that originally when railway purchased the LHB technology, one of the main consideration was the speed potential. And we did the testing in way back in 1999 for 160 kmph, but unfortunately we could never run those coaches to more than 130 kmph. Now there are, I feel that there is a huge number of constraints to upgrade the existing infrastructure to 160 kmph. First are the operational, there are so many operational constraints. Then you require large number of massive modifications for which huge blocks are required for carrying out the work. And those type of maintenance time or for converting the existing track into that is not available. The best way to go forward, I feel, is to have a separate corridor like dedicated freight corridor. If we have a high-speed corridor like our Prime Minister Modi ji has envisioned this Mumbai-Ahmedabad bullet train, 300 kmph. All over the world, wherever the speed is high, most of the places they are having a dedicated corridor. And because of this mixed traffic of running the goods train also, passenger train also, and now this requires signaling infrastructure upgradation, track infrastructure upgradation, station upgradation, all those things, and also running, because already all line are so much over congested. Already huge problem is there to get a block and to get the work implementation. Then by the time we complete 200 kilometer section, new technology comes, new particularly in signaling field, so much development is there that the technology become old. So my suggestion, I would say that it will be very difficult for Indian Railway to go beyond 160 kmph and 121, maybe 180 kmph for next 20-30 years. So stainless steel has got a good future for the coach manufacturing in India. And I just one more example of stainless steel. No, like we started putting this bio tank into the coaches for toilet below the toilet. We all chose the material stainless steel material in that bio tank, and we completed that project somewhere in 2019. And last I think almost 7-8 years, all these tanks are running so fine, no corrosion, nothing. They really stood to the test of time. So, of course, I a little bit diverted from the topic question which you asked. But this Indian Railway, RDSO approval and things like that, so many issues are there in Indian Railway. While if you have a separate system, like in this case in RRTS, RRTS has not gone for RDSO approval. They have appointed international ISAs, safety auditors. So they have certified everything. So there is no departmental angle also coming. So that is how the progress is happening fast. So lot of bureaucracy is there in Indian Railway, getting the work sanctioned, then execution by the time, and so many issues. But best is to go for dedicated lines. Particularly, I think the dedicated freight corridor which we are making, we should have a potential of 200 kmph on that. That is possible easily.
I will add to it. Actually, there are always two school of thoughts or multiple school of thoughts. One says that DFC should not have come up. We should have made 200 plus track fit, and the freight would have moved on the existing lines. That is one school of thought. But now it's fait accompli that DFC is there. Now, like Mr. Agarwal mentioned about 130 kmph speeds on the existing tracks, the Rajdhani tracks as we call it. When we say 130, our stock is fit for 130, but at locations like he mentioned, the track is not fit. Reasons, multiple reasons. One is where we have hilly terrain, we have curves. So restriction is there, plus the what type of soil is there. Most of Deccan area and even our Bombay, Gujarat area has black cotton soil. MP has black cotton soil, which is not very good soil, and track has been laid on that. So number of restrictions are there because of that. Plus, although the stock is fit, even our freight stock is fit for in empty condition for 100 kmph and loaded condition for 75. But that requires. Now, I'm happy to tell you here that the first train on Indian Railways at 160 km, which will run from Bombay to Ahmedabad in this financial year itself. And it is not that simple. The first thing is that even this train will not go fully at 160 because Bombay, it will start from the Bombay Central most probably. Bombay had DC traction on the EMUs. Now, till Virar, when we changed to AC, we did not, because the ROBs all in Bombay area, they were of low height. So all these, they cannot go beyond 100 and 110 at locations. And the one thing which needs modification is OHE, that is conventional OHE, the overhead traction is 25 kV. We need a feeder wire 2 into 25 kV has to be done. Secondly, if curves are there, they have to be realigned, and otherwise you will have a permanent speed restriction of whatever is there, 80, 90, 100. Plus the sleepers, the track geometry, there are a number of things, SW, the webs, the switches, all those have to be changed. I joined Western Railway in November, and all the bridges, whether big or small, their approaches need strengthening. Otherwise, they will not go beyond 130. So naturally, this plan was there. Within joining 1 week, I was called to the ministry and to how will we go about it. So we went and said that we need blocks, major blocks, like Mr. Agrawal said, to stop the trains and some cancellations and all those, so that we can do this work, because this was in November 22, so that the trains can be run by the end of March 24. Before March 24, the first train can start. Board said you have to manage on your own. We don't know, you have to do. So we came back, our team sorted out. So first bridge block, which we took, and board said no timings will be relaxed, was 5.5 hours. Then, and it was for all divisions. Bombay, Mumbai had to do it. Baroda had to do it. Ahmedabad, only a couple of bridges, and Ratlam. We started it. And from November till June, not November, December, the first I think was in first week of January or last week of December, we did 120 bridges. And the punctuality of Western Railway did not drop below 90. We maintained the punctuality, and from 5.5 hours, we came to 4.5 hours with the proper planning. So bridges, and it became a showcase for Indian Railways. In fact, our civil engineers were called to give papers to other railways so that they can also do it. Similarly, the track. On the realignment side, our Ratlam division, the moment we cross Godra, has number of curves. So major curve realignments have been taken place. The curves which were at 80 or 100 have been relaxed to 130. Still 160 is not possible. So the first track route will be Ahmedabad, Mumbai. The second will be Mumbai to Delhi, in which western it will be till Nagda. So these two will be 160 fit very soon, and you will have trains, these Vande Bharat trains running at 160. And the requirement is you need boundary wall. Now, boundary wall is a problem. We have work sanction. When we are making RCC walls, the villagers objected that traditionally we used to cross over from this side, that side. How will we go? You don't have so many subways. So we decided on Western Railway itself in Ahmedabad, Mumbai route, that we'll go for metal wheel fencing. Wherever area is encroachment prone in cities, we continued with the RCC walls. All other areas, we have made 500 kilometer plus metal beam fencing, steel metal beam fencing that is being used on highways, same design. Of course, the height is slightly more. We have made 500 kilometers in a period of 6 months, so that this route is fit for 160. No cattle can cross over and cause damage to the trains. So this is how we are going about it. Still some sections will be there which will be at 130 or 120. Another thing, the present minister asked us, even when we talk about 110, many areas it is 80, 90, even that 110. So Western Railway, we took a programmed work from April, and now only I think 20 kilometers are left, which is not 110 fit. So this is how at least this railway is going about, and other railways will be doing the same thing. So very soon you will have trains running at 160 on the system.
I just would like to add something. You have heard the railway perspective. Let us see what we as a commuters want. We want to reach our destination fast. Now, today if you see the network in railways, current network in railways, the average speed of freight is 25 to 26 kilometers per hour on the existing network. That's a good train.
Our system it is 28.
28. So less than 30 for the goods train. We have all the mail express running at 45 to 55 kilometers per hour. Up to 60, okay. And we have the Shatabdis, Rajdhanis over Vande Bharat, which are designed for 160. I think 28 or 29 routes, we are having a Vande Bharat average speed less than 100 kilometers per hour. So is it that what we as a commuter needs? No. So what is that is required? Let us try to understand that, which is supplementing the argument which these two gentlemen has made. See, we have a dedicated A routes where the speed is required, which is only about 7 to 8,000 kilometers. You see the roads. In the roads, we used to have national highways, but still they have gone with the express highways. So national highways, we can run a speed up to 60, 70 kilometers per hour, but they have still created express highway where they can run up to 120 kilometers per hour, road network. So why not we have a dedicated passenger network like dedicated freight network. We have a dedicated passenger network for these 7,000 kilometers. So majority of the commuter traffic, which is there, which is feeding the two intercity points, the 7,000 kilometers, they will have intercity points, run a dedicated line which is going up to 160 kilometers or 200 kilometers per hour. And today these air routes, which is having almost 120% of capacity, highly congestion, this thing is there, where we can run all mail express trains, where we can increase the speed of mail express train from 50, 60 to 90. 50% increase in speed for the mail express and almost 100% increase in speed in these 7,000 kilometers, what the commuter will need. So instead of investing on the existing track for upgrading the system, creating a new tracks, which we were saying about through private investment, will be the right approach for the future in case we want to increase the speed. Same thing is done in China. China has created dedicated freight lines, dedicated passenger high-speed lines. So what we have to do, instead of doing the upgradation of 7,000 kilometers, let us create that 7,000 kilometers for the high-speed network.
No, that's what I said. No, the China story is the same. 2004 they started their first train 300 kmph.
Yeah.
Now they have 17,000 kilometer route for all major city connected with the
Gentlemen have put up a very, in fact, this was one of the most interesting discussion on railway issues which took place. Thank you.